So just earlier today, I had shown off an occlusion system, a culling system that worked real time and it worked pretty well. And so in place of that one, I've already got this new one here. And essentially what this one does is it takes just rays from the camera, casts them outwards. If it hits one of these rooms, it'll it'll make it visible. So it'll unhide it. And so this works pretty well. You should see my GPU numbers go down pretty soon here once the occlusion system actually starts working. But even if it doesn't go down, here's the thing. It runs way better and it doesn't max out my GPU, which is good. Because the other time it was maxing out my GPU and it was using all of my, like, because the way that Unity likes to work, it was maxing out one core of my CPU, and it was severely damaging the performance of the game. And so what I've got in place here instead is just that new system I'm talking about that was actually featured in one of my older videos. So yeah, it works pretty well. So if I move over to Unity, I can show you how a few of these things work. So um, I've also been working on implementing Navmesh for this new procedural generation, which I'm planning on pursuing uh, throughout the game. And so what I'm going to do here is I'll show you basically what it generates, because I think it's pretty cool. So if I go actually find where all this is. Okay, so before there would have been a lot of stuff going on here. And so now you can see these are all the rays that it's casting from the camera, and it's basically revealing these rooms. I removed all the like stress testing assets because I don't think I need them in there anymore. Okay, so all this navigation data is baked at runtime, which I think is pretty cool. And so basically it's just taking the surface. Each of these has like a Navmesh surface component attached to it, which I'll get into a little bit later. And essentially, it's just generating a Navmesh that links all these surfaces together, and it works pretty well. I haven't tested it with any agents yet, but considering the Navmesh seems to be unbroken and it seems to have the correct vertices and everything on them, I think it works just fine. Um, yeah, okay. So, you might be wondering, how did I get those components? So basically you're going to want to go to Unity, uh, Unity's page for Navmesh building components, and you're going to want to go to installation, and then you're going to want to go to your package manager. So you're going to want to go to your package manager, you're going to want to go ahead and press add package by name, and then plop in the name that they put on this page over here. Um, yeah, so you're going to want to go over here, put on this thing here, and ta-da, you've got a working system right there. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, it works pretty well. That's all I can say. So, well, I guess there's more. So I got this thing here. So at the bottom, this is where you detach the nav mesh surface, and then you got all these nice settings for you. You don't need to bake it within the prefab. That doesn't really do anything useful for you. But however, basically the only code that's in here is this code right here. It basically takes this void. Uh, it's run by the level generator itself. Once it's finished generating the big objects, it'll run this next. And literally all it's doing, I thought this was necessary, but it's not. It just generates more nav mesh than you need. Like, it generates nav mesh on top of nav mesh, which is not good. It's not what you want. And make sure when you're using this package, use unity.ai.navigation. That's very important. I struggled for like 2 hours on that issue. So yeah, and then you just specify an array public navmesh surfaces, and then all you do is do this so you can find those navmesh surface components on every single object that's been generated, and just choose. Actually, I don't even think you need to do this. You just put in one of this. Well, I guess you need to find at least one of the surfaces. And when you do that, just use the first surface that's in the list and just build Navmesh, and it works flawlessly. Works really well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.